Yeah. So there are a few activities which are, I don't know, we can call it as entrepreneurship. One is, of course, the Assistec lab, which we do with Bala, where we are actually developing products for the visually challenged. It's almost like a social innovation because many of these needs are not market driven. So since they are not market driven, nobody will, no industry will pick it up for because it's not profitable for them. So that is one area where we're working. Other is of course the Stanford India Biodesign program, which we do with AIMS. Uh, that is another program which is now survived almost 12, 13 years. And it has actually done very well. If we really look at close to about 50 products have come up, and I think as many patents are also filed, and close to 130 people have been trained to be uh, basically more on the bio innovation, and quite a few startups, at least about a dozen startups, and as many technology transfers to industry have happened. And a lot of them actually, I would say it's a little bit between social innovation and the market driven technologies which are there. And some other thing which, of course, I do, which is more of a course, is with Ambuj, which is inclusive innovation. So this is a course which we had a 5 batches now. Sixth batch probably will start now, which is there. So mostly those are the activities. But what we generally found, particularly working with Assistec and other projects, is that compared to academic projects and projects which have to reach people, there are we have burned our fingers and probably learned a little bit. Is 4 5 things. One which we found is that whenever we took up any need without doing much of research, uh, it actually either did not succeed or took enormous amount of time to even to reach, let's say, some stage. So now I think we are pretty convinced that whatever problem comes to us, we would actually just research on the problem itself without thinking about the solution for quite. Just to give an example, we just started a project about 1.5 years back, where All India Institute of Medical Science came up and they said, how can we improve the experience of patients in our hospitals? I don't know, anybody who has visited AIDS will only have very horror stories to tell, which is there. But at least they are thinking in that direction, and they gave one department, ophthalmology, RP center, and they said, we can also fund you, but at least do something so that some steps can be taken. So we actually did almost like 4 to 5 months just the research without even looking at what are the possible solution, and mostly through immersion, where one thing which we did is we put 3 researchers for 3 weeks just to sit there and observe and note down anything which looks not normal to them. And I think they came up with huge amount of data. And some of those observations probably then becomes very important needs, which second thing which we did is all the 3 people.
Go ahead, Madhusudan.
I think I'm not audible.
Yeah, we missed in between, but now we can hear you.
No, we can hear you. Yeah.
Lost again.
Uh, I think there was a break.
We were not hearing you for some time, for last 1 or 2 minutes.
Yeah, actually, it is also saying.
Again, we are not able to hear you, Madhu.
Is it better now?
Now we are.
Hello?
Now we can hear you.
Am I audible?
Yes, Madhu. Now you are audible.
Hello?
Hello.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
Madhu, you
yes.
are audible now. Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know where did I miss? Probably.
Three researchers took lots of data.
Yeah. So another thing which we also did is we asked all the three people to go through and themselves treated for basically get their vision corrected by going through their own experience of the problems. So it's a little bit more of putting themselves in the shoes of a end user. And the third thing which we did is we took about 15-20 patients and we shadowed them from the time they reach the hospital and they leave the hospital. Just one person is behind this patient to know what are all the kind of things which they go through. And then AIIMS also gave us 2 years of CCTV data of their OPDs and particularly to look at. So that data was very useful to formulate particularly the problem, and we found that there is no solution to improving the patient experience. The thing is we can reduce some of their problems or pain points. Just to give an example, we found that this type of a research is actually helping at all stages of a product development, uh, particularly because uh, you have a first-hand experience of the problem rather than solving a problem for someone else is one thing. So second thing which we learned from this experience is the people, the stakeholders are generally, we actually prepare a solution in the institute and then go to stakeholders to tell that this is what is our solution. But we found that if they are part of our solution team, what we call as a co-creation, usually it helps much better. Now, one thing which Bala and I did is we have a couple of visually challenged people who are part of our lab. So they are part of all the projects, and some of the other members also, like AIIMS gave 2 people, one who is a hospital administrator for that particular building and this thing, and she is like a part of our team. And she gave enough time, like probably whenever we had a meeting, she will always be present, kind of a thing. So that it also gives a little bit more a co-creation type of a thing, rather than we are trying to find a solution for someone else. It also gives something like people trying to solution for themselves. We are just kind of trying to help them rather than we finding a solution is this thing. The third thing which we also generally different from the academic projects is we often start with one good solution and try to keep modifying, tweaking, improving to make it work. And we found that this model also has a problem. Somewhere it gets stuck, may not be initially, but at a later stage. So we started looking at multiple solutions. Maybe for the same problem, there are 3, 4, even 10 solutions, and then slowly converts to one, eliminating the others by applying or doing a little bit more research and looking at all the filters which actually work, kind of a thing. And I think we have seen that the first version of any product hardly reaches the people. And in almost all the cases, at least 6 to 10 iterations of the designs were required before we can say that people can now actually test this particular product and kind of a thing. So that means basically that design, build, test, fail, modify iterations are almost important. And I think I think when I look at our normal projects which we do, and these projects, these are some of the things which I felt very different. Often we don't teach also, but I think we don't practice because we never went through. But I think it's kind of helping. Of course, the most difficult thing is building one product is okay, but making it scalable and sustainable is the largest thing. But what we found is that initial research, etc., also helps to come up with somewhat better sustainable and scalable solution. Because having understood the people, the anthropology, and the sociology aspects of the people also helps to say whether what type of solution will sustain or scale. It gives a little hints and clues for us to select the right solution among many solutions. I would say, look, these are like, in brief, I would say, the places where we had some learning during last 10 years.
Yes, thank you, Madhusudan. Sangeeta, you have questions?
Yeah, so what I wanted to say was, so thank you, Madhu, for sharing all those experiences. So our question to you would be how we can actually develop entrepreneurs in some of the technologies which have actually developed from the grassroots only. So I think it will be good if we can discuss with Madhu the journey of the Tulsi Mala machine. So even there we have not been able to have a successful entrepreneur, right? So then he can probably give us some suggestions regarding that particular product. So Yashwant can probably talk about it.
Yashwant, you know the past history. Otherwise, Rajkumar can begin 2-3 minutes, and then Yashwant can follow another next 2-3 minutes.
Yeah. So let's start from the history, and then so that he gets a clear picture of how things have happened.
तुमको पता है यशवंत सबको?
सर हिस्ट्री तो सबसे अच्छा आप ही को पता है।
नहीं होता है।
कहाँ से शुरू हुआ, उसके बाद मैंने कहाँ से उसको हैंड ओवर किया वो मुझे पता है, लेकिन हिस्ट्री तो वो 2013 या 14 में जब आया।
कुछ फोटो तो दिखाओ सब जन उनको पता चले एक्चुअली ना।
सर मैं अभी मोबाइल से ज्वाइन किया हूँ, लैपटॉप में थोड़ा।
हाँ सर
है तुम्हारे पास फोटो है?
हाँ फोटोग्राफ्स हाँ सर होगा।
तो दोनों फोटो ही रखो, पहले तो पुराना वाला रखो। तो let me tell you, as Yashwant said, 2009 हमारा रूटक शुरू हुआ। 2012-13 there is a problem came from Bharatpur to make. तुम ये दिखाओ राजकुमार।
यस सर।
तुम्हारा हमारा वेबसाइट में लेके चलो एक्चुअली ना, रूटक वेबसाइट वहां से दिखा दो। So there is a problem came about making beads from tulsi stem in order to make malas for the temples in Mathura Vrindavan. No? And so initially they are using some ad hoc arrangement. So no, they are getting muscle pains by the women operators who are using. So what we thought is to improve it by introducing some mechanical switch to begin with, and then some support, and so that the muscle pains are not there, and with that they claim that the productivity has increased. Ye dikhao. So this is the device you can watch. 21.
Oh, it's a video. Okay.
Yeah, it's a video. Yeah, so this is actually एक बार mute करो इसमें, I mean stop करो एक बार, pause करो, pause, राजकुमार।
हाँ pause किया सर।
हाँ, So as Madhusudan, you can see this lady is now switching on off a switch here, the white color. But previously they used to carry the small motor here. No support was existing earlier. So she would be carrying this motor, and there is a little hollow cylindrical metal piece is there, which acts as a holder for the tulsi stem here. And then she uses a tool in the right hand side. It's basically lathe action, you can imagine. And the small bead is formed. After the small bead is formed, she would use her fingers to stop this step, I mean the holder, you can say it, for about 2-3 seconds before she takes out the small bead, forms out, and then start the next one. And stopping this.
So this is basically to form the beads from the stem, correct?
Stem, yes. And this is the mala that after which they will make it. So initial problem, they said they're stopping with their fingers, creating a muscle pain. So when it came to us, so immediate reaction to me was, why don't we put a switch, which is on and off. So then in order to move the switch, what to hold it. So then we got the idea of this support here, and then we introduce an adapter so that electricity can be utilized and stuff, so on and so forth. And they claim that their income has gone by 3 times. And the lady who is to make those ad hoc arrangements and then is to train the local women to Bharatpur. So we gave her this machine to manufacture, and she used to manufacture 1 piece, 2 piece, 3 pieces kind of thing. But in the meantime, our in the meantime, we used to put this thing, the YouTube video, lots of requests is to come. And we thought that lady will do the job. And when we sent to the lady, she said, oh, ask them to come here with this much money and I will train them. And now imagine from Pune, somebody is contacting me for this machine. No, he doesn't want to come to Bharatpur to all this stuff, right? So when these difficulties faced, of course, there are certain other technical issues, like there light accidents were there in terms of keeping wiring open and then get little shock, even though it is 24 volts. So this is one dimension. The second dimension is the entrepreneurship dimension. So finally, with the help of FITT, we have created a project called Innovative Product Delivery, so that anybody can pay the money to FITT and we make it for them and deliver to them. So this is the main challenge. But after that, of course, this modification, putting in a box, and now a newer version is underway. So that the big, big wala. So this is of course. So here we did a lot of research as the research component you were emphasizing. So here we did the research in terms of like they said, okay, if the bigger beads can be from 25 millimeter. So complete mechanical design and the typical research what you were mentioning. The research from the social perspective was coming mostly from the experiences, but this was basically the mechanical research. Yeah, question.
Okay, but what is the value which this device brings to their livelihoods?
That's a 3 times income, wage in enhancement. Earlier they used to earn 300 rupees per day. If they use this device, they will be getting about 1,000 to 1,200 rupees per day. So productivity, comfort.
So, but then why there has not been local demand for this product among
yes, so that is yes, you have an interesting question. So when we figure it out this thing, so now maybe Yashavant can share, because that immersive part which you are mentioning, which we started pretty late actually, not in a full sense of immersive, but going several times, talking to the people, maybe staying one night with them, that kind of thing. That Yashavant has some experience which we will share. Yashavant, briefly बताओ क्यों नहीं use कर रहे थे, क्या problem था?
वो तो सर जनरली सबसे पहले बार जब हमें इंफॉर्मेशन मिला था तो हमें पता चला था कि ये मथुरा भरतपुर एरिया में हमें पता चला था ये प्रॉब्लम के बारे में, और वहाँ लोग छोटी माला बनाते थे। मींस द डायमीटर वाज
नहीं, एक बार और लास्ट सेंटेंस रिपीट करो।
भरतपुर से ये प्रॉब्लम आया था हमें लुपिन फाउंडेशन से। कि
अच्छा,
कंठी माला और तुलसी माला बनाते हैं और वो हैंड ऑपरेटेड है। और दूसरा जो था कि वो हाथ में, जो सर ने बताया कि वो मसल पेन वाला प्रॉब्लम, तो हमें पहली बार जब हमने डिवाइस बनाया 2014 में, तो दैट वाज रिलेटेड टू मसल पेन एंड दे हैड टेप रिकॉर्डर मोटर एंड दे वर यूजिंग दैट। लेकिन जब हमने दोबारा एक वर्कशॉप किया 2017-18 में, राजकुमार जी वाज हैड कंडक्टेड द वर्कशॉप इन मथुरा वृंदावन थ्रू एन एनजीओ, जहाँ की एनजीओ हमारा वर्कशॉप में आए और हमारा ये डिवाइस देखे, तो वो बोले कि मथुरा वृंदावन इज द हब ऑफ तुलसी माला मेकिंग, तो आप एक बार हमें विजिट करो। तो फिर वहाँ जब हमने विजिट किया तो वहाँ से हमें पता चला कि मथुरा वृंदावन में जो एक गांव है जैत, वहाँ लोग बड़े मन का बनाते हैं, विच इज अप टू 10 to 15 mm diameter size, or the motor that we provided them that would supply power or torque for smaller bead only. तो ये प्रॉब्लम हमें वहां जाके पता चला। फिर वहां के लोगों के साथ हमने ऑलमोस्ट 1 year हम उनके साथ बैठे, उनको समझे, फिर वो कैसे बनाते हैं, किस तरह से उनका वर्किंग पोस्चर है। हमें ये भी पता चला, अगर राजकुमार जी आपके पास वो वीडियो है क्या, जो मोटी मन का बनाने वाले जो ट्रेडिशनल मशीन है, तो इफ यू विल सी, हाँ, तो वो एक बार शेयर कीजिए। तो आप जब सर उनके साथ बैठोगे तो आपको पता चलेगा कि हाउ डू दे वर्क, मतलब उनको आदत हो गया है 20 years से काम करने का, तो दे वर्क मैनुअली एंड देयर वर्किंग पोस्चर, एर्गोनॉमिक पोस्चर मतलब बहुत ही बुरा है, जिनके वजह से उनको काफी सारे हेल्थ इश्यूज आ रहे हैं। और वो फिर
no, one thing is कि the posture जो पोस्चर है वो मशीन की वजह से वो करना पड़ रहा है कि वो उनका नेचुरल पोस्चर ऐसा है?
नहीं, मशीन की वजह से ये पोस्चर ऐसा करना पड़ रहा है उनको। आप जैसे देखो
तो वही है कि मतलब मेनली ओके, दिस इज द,
ये उनका कन्वेंशनल, अभी जो वीडियो दिख रहा है ये उनका कन्वेंशनल मशीन है, जिसमें कि वो एक पैर मशीन के ऊपर, एक पैर बाहर, उसके बाद उतना झुक के, तो इनको ये फिर हमें अपना वो जो हेल्थ इश्यूज है, कपड़े वपड़े भी खोल के अपने कंधे दिखाते थे, देखो सर एक साइड झुक गया है। फिर ये सारे उसके ड्रेजरी जो इन्वॉल्व है इसके साथ, इस चीज के बारे में बताए। फिर तब जाके
तो अभी जो नया मशीन बना रहे हैं उसमें वो ह्यूमन फैक्टर्स इनकॉर्पोरेट किया है क्या?
हाँ सर, ह्यूमन फैक्टर्स इनकॉर्पोरेट किया है। और अभी जो आप मशीन देखोगे सेम साइज का बीड उसमें बन रहा है। अब वो क्या है, एक छोटा पोर्टेबल तुलसी माला बीड मेकिंग मशीन है, जिसको आप टेबल में, जिस तरह से सीविंग मशीन हम चलाते हैं ना, सीविंग मशीन, उस तरह से टेबल में मशीन को रख के आप उसको ऑपरेट कर सकते हैं, मतलब आर्टिजन जो है उसको ऑपरेट कर सकते हैं।
ये कब बना है? अभी बना है कि थोड़े दिन
सर
पहले?
ये अभी हाल फिलहाल ही बना है। लॉकडाउन से पहले हमने सारा टेस्टिंग और जो भी होना था इससे रिलेटेड, सिटिंग विद, आपने जो बात किया ना सर को क्रिएशन का, तो मतलब ऑलमोस्ट
कितने यूजर्स ने ट्राई किया है और फीडबैक दिया है?
30 to 40 सर, 30 to 40 यूजर्स हैव ट्राइड इट। मतलब
ट्राइड मतलब दो तरह के।
हेलो सर, आवाज नहीं
एक
आ
तो
रही
ये
है।
है कि आपने उनको दिखाया और कुछ देर, अभी ठीक है?
हाँ सर,
हेलो,
हाँ सर, हाँ सर,
अभी ठीक है?
हाँ सर।
या तो एक तो फीडबैक वो होता है कि आपने उनको दिखाया और कुछ देर के लिए करने के लिए कहा, ठीक है?
हाँ सर।
और एक फीडबैक वो होता है कि आपने उनको मशीन उनके पास 15 दिन के लिए छोड़ दिया और बोला कि आप फीडबैक दीजिए। कौन सा फीडबैक था?
तो अभी तो जनरली एक, मतलब ये जो अभी आर्टिजन है जो अभी यूज कर रहा है, ये एक्चुअली हमारा, आप इसको बोल सकते हो कि पर्सोना था ये हमारा। सो ही हैज बीन यूजिंग दिस मशीन फॉर मंथ्स, मोर देन मंथ्स, और ये एक तरह से हमारा ब्रांडिंग भी कर रहा है इस मशीन का। हाँ सर।
let me
there are yeah, go ahead.
let us look at this in the two phases. Now, phase number 1, that is our model number 1, the previous model, and this is model number 2. Model number 2 is now yet not seen the time testing yet. actually, no. But what we are worrying about, one sample case of model number 1, and we have similar at least 4 or 5 other activities, but we are taking only one at this moment for the discussion. So 2014 to 2020, no, this 6 years, that machine has been existing. We have been using it, even though it was not doing the job for the other sector, which is 25 millimeter diameter, but for the smaller sector, there is a kind of a demand is there. Demand in the sense people use it, but then the lady who was making it, no, who was not sharing so openly these things. Others who kind of saw her using it, modified it in their style, and then they have done something which is not our design, 100%, maybe 90% ours, 10% there. And we also learn from their modification also. It's not that we have not learned. Now the question comes, what Sangeeta was asking, we know it has a use. We have sold about 200 such pieces through that lady's channel and then our channel also. The question is, now we know there is a sector. The sector may not be very large. It's countrywide, maybe 5,000, 10,000, because we get requests from Bangalore, Odisha and all these places. The question here, what Sangeeta is asking is, if we would like to make that device available for the market, as you rightly said, there is no ready-made entrepreneurs available because the market is not very large. So what should be the approach in such cases? Should we be happy with whatever we have?
One of the things is if the product now is kind of optimized in the sense that one is able to take care of all what user pain points, etc. And if you are convinced that yes, this is the product on which people would jump, and probably because it's going to improve the livelihood, then one of the models, of course, which is there is like it's also possible, like we did it with one of the products, that we have tied up with more than 50 NGOs. And these NGOs, we trained one person who can actually take an order and also provides the training, which is there. And that's one model which has worked at least in one of the assistive technologies. These are the people who are in the same business in which we are trying to do. And so this is more like, since we don't know where the end user stays, but is it possible to tie up with the people who know them better? And probably you may have to give some small margin for them. For every mission they sell and train, a certain percentage they also get.
Yeah, that will
That's
be
one
possible.
Model. Yeah. But only thing is how are these Tulsi Mala people who the people who are making livelihood based on this, how are they distributed? That's a little bit, again, like it comes from a research. So how is the spread and this that somebody has to do before.
Okay.
That. Other thing which is there is other thing is to probably, as and when periodically you may be calling them and training them and maybe giving the machines or selling the machines. That's another model. Maybe one organization would like to do that periodically every month. Maybe they have
that's a good idea.
That is, but because IIT, I don't think we can do it. Maybe we may have to give it to some other organization which can do. So IIT can help them do that. That's another model also.
So one question I had was regarding the finances. I think in many such situations, even though people like the product, they would not like to spend the money. So I was just हरीश पांडे जैसा कोई मॉडल हो जिसमें माइक्रो फाइनेंसिंग से
ठीक है. इसमें मैनुअल और इसमें कितना है कॉस्ट? how much does the user has to
Hello.
pay for manual one? This one.
Manual,
ये
sir,
जो अभी बना।
manual one is around 1,000 rupees, but
हाँ?
manual is
Manual
1,000 rupees.
1,000
manual
rupees.
1,000 rupees.
हाँ,
And
और
जो अभी बना है जो
it would cost around 15,000 rupees. Why? Because the numbers are less. So
15,000.
हाँ,
Hello.
तो जो हाँ हाँ सर,
Yeah. So
Hello.
तो जो
15,000 जो है वो तो
हाँ सर,
yeah, go ahead.
हाँ राजकुमार जी,
सर ये शाह सर,
हाँ बोलो क्या?
मैं बोला तो वो चंद्रकांत सरकार
बोल-
सर ऑनलाइन है, इन करूं, होल्ड करूं?
नहीं उसको बोलो हम थोड़ा सा बिजी चल रहे हैं, मे बी विल गेट यू नो विल रिंग हिम वंस वी आर रेडी। ठीक है, फोन करके बता दो। हाँ गो अहेड ये
ठीक है।
हाँ तो सर
Yeah.
वो 15,000 है।
So
Why? Because हाँ सर, क्योंकि मैन्युफैक्चरर है, वो बोलता है कि हम सर इतने लो अमाउंट में है और उसका बिजनेस भी थोड़ा है, तो वी कैलकुलेटेड
कितना है 15,000 रुपए बोला ना तुमने?
हाँ,
एक्चुअली द मैनुअल कॉस्ट इज
everything.
Yeshwant, manual cost is 1 to 2,000. The version 1 is about 6 to 7,000, and the improved version with the larger diameter is 15,000. So larger diameter people, the users group, they said they are ready to pay about 6 to 7,000 rupees for the device they have seen it, which is 15,000 for us.
Yes sir.
So actually, I think ultimately what will sell is what is the value they get for the money they pay. I think that's the ultimate, which is there. So there can be one or two models which probably is possible. One is that when we were doing research with the people, etc., we found that the people who can't pay 15,000 rupees per month can actually pay 100 rupees per week.
Acha, okay.
So now the question is, what should be the model? Should it be EMI model or should it be a rental? That has to figure out a little bit. Which is okay. Even for communities such as this, imagine 15,000 saving is never going to happen. Even for them to buy the 15,000, it's simply so. But only thing is they may have a daily or a weekly saving. That is one aspect. Maybe after some time they actually own the product. That's also possible if they pay enough EMI or enough rental is one. Other thing which we did with one product is we gave it to industry. Industry found that the product is going to cost 15 to 20,000 rupees if they make and sell it, almost similar amount. And then they estimated that the people who are end users, hardly anybody can pay 15-20,000. So what we did is we waited for a year or two. We worked with a charitable organization, and this charitable organization said, we will give you a big project to IIT and to industry, and we'll take care of all the production cost of the industry, like molds, machines, etc. But they have to sell it at 3,500 rupees. So one of the factories where we are actually doing the smart cane, that factory has got more than 1 crore rupee grant for investment in their manufacturing setup, etc. But they did not do anything for 2 years when we transfer the technology, because they would have sold at 50. But now they are selling at 3,500 rupees and still making profits.
Gotcha.
So that's another model. There would be charitable organization who would like to improve the livelihoods. I don't know whether it's Tata Trust type of organization. If they're ready to probably invest in one-time manufacturing, then you negotiate with the manufacturer key. You still have a margin, but if you say 3,500 rupees from 15,000, suddenly the numbers would increase tremendously. Because then it is 2,000 versus 3,500 manual versus. So that is another model which we worked with Smart Cane particularly. So when we gave it to Phoenix, they didn't do anything. But after this grant came and they set up. Now they have sold about 1 lakh units.
Okay. Okay, I think these are very good, useful input. I think this model, I think the kind of difficulties we face, you might be facing the other kind of difficulties. For example, for this Tulsi Mala, there is a microfinancer who was ready to give some fund. He said you collect 10 rupees per day kind of thing. Now, if they have an earning of 1200 per day, 10,000, but the NGO who was trying to negotiate with the local people, they said, नहीं sir, they are even reluctant to pay 10 rupees. और हम जब जाते
Yeah,
थे,
so that Harish Hande's model is more of that. That they actually do EMI or renting at a very this thing.
Yeah.
But I think once they see the value which the product, in fact, Harish Hande ka thoda wo hai कि they don't look at this as a problem of a Tulsi Mala. They actually look at this as a problem of a livelihood. So then it becomes a very different angle to look at. So that way they ultimately see ki what is the benefit which the end user is getting in their activities of daily living and particularly economic benefits. Then I think they automatically a lot of things happen. But till that happens, they're convinced they may or may not buy, or they probably the numbers would be very small.
And sometimes the demands are like there are government schemes are there, right, where they distribute free. So they consider us as a government agency. They think, why are you not giving free? No, that is also another demand. We give 1 or 2 free, but after
that, free actually doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because free means ki whether I use or not, I'll just keep one.
Exactly.
बाद में देखेंगे kind of thing.
That's true.
But unless you even if it is a percentage, if you have to pay, then you know that you want to derive a value out of that.
That is true.
Free usually doesn't work.
ठीक है, I think Sangeeta, if
They
there
have
is
some.
I just have Madhusudan saying something. Yes, Madhusudan. You're saying something, right? Should I speak?
So we did have like some of the products are bought by the government and distributed in camps. We had a serious problems. First thing is ki the serious people who actually need may or may not come forward to, or they are not the beneficiaries. That is one thing. And second thing is, if you give a product without training, just distribute, then also it's not good. Somebody has to show the value it brings. At least maybe few hours or a day-long training was important. When product reached without these, we found that people don't value, neither they benefit.
That is very true. Very true. So last question that I have, Madhusudan, is that, like you said, even in your medical devices, that program that you do with AIMS, there have been several startups. Now, many students want to do something in the social sector, but how do we actually find people or reach out to them so that they can do startups of this kind? So is there any possibility of finding some people like that?
That's a little tough. We were able to get 1 or 2, and we wanted half a dozen people, but still not finding. But yeah, it's a slightly difficult thing. But what people are ready to give is couple of years. But I don't know whether they would like to make a life out of this. Is a slightly different. So some of the students actually stayed back for an additional year to see that the product reaches the people, but they did not actually, except 2 people from the lab who are now running a startup. Other than that, we could not get many of them for a longer duration. That is still an issue, which is there. It is somewhere related to, again, like somewhere what is your vision of life and your purpose of life, and it actually goes back to that.
What is a good way of reaching out to the potential people? That is what I was thinking. To give advertising through Facebook or things like that, मतलब what is a good way? क्योंकि ultimately तो हमको एक भी मिल जाएगा तो बड़ी बात है, तो millions में से एक ढूंढना है. So what is a good way?
नहीं, बट थोड़ा उसमें प्रॉब्लम एडवर्टाइजमेंट में ये है कि बहुत सारे लोग वो भी आएंगे जो कहीं कुछ नहीं कर सके, सोच रहे कुछ तो हो जाएगा, मतलब वो भी ठीक नहीं है. मतलब somebody who is really passionate and understands is this thing. Ideally, like I would look at Davinder or Rajkumar to be an entrepreneur. If they can become, then it will definitely reach.
हो गया बच्चा, तुम लोग शुरू करो, राइट?
So that's
Okay.
awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you, Madhusudan, for your time, and we'll bother you time to time related to these kind of ideas, no, which you have been
Sure,
thinking.
sure.
And finally, thank you.
Yeah.
So thank. Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks. चंद्रकांत को allow कर दो.
ठीक है सर.
Hello, Dr. Sarkar. चंद्रकांत.
म्यूट है वो.
Hello, Chandrakant, you are on mute. Hello. फोन करके बता दो एक बार, म्यूट है तो.
ठीक.
तुम अनम्यूट नहीं कर सकते हो होस्ट से?
हाँ सर.
तुम अनम्यूट नहीं कर सकते तुम?
हम नहीं कर सकते सर, इधर से पता नहीं.
तुम ही तो ऑर्गेनाइजर हो. नहीं तो फोन करके बता दो.
आई थिंक सब कुछ नहीं कर सकता ऑर्गेनाइजर.
एक बार फोन करके बता दो एक बार.
No, organizer can mute but not unmute.
चलो उसको बता दो एक बार फोन करके.
हाँ सर.
अच्छा राजकुमार, वन थिंग आई वांट टू आस्क यू, इस बार ईमेल में लिंक नहीं आया और वो टीम्स में भी आई एम नॉट एबल टू फाइंड दिस मीटिंग, तो मुझे अपना व्हाट्सएप को फॉरवर्ड करना पड़ा. फिर
अनम्यूट करके आप आ जाइए ऑनलाइन.
हाँ, भूपिंदर जी कुछ कह रहे हैं राजकुमार.
हाँ, मेरा राजकुमार से क्वेश्चन था कि इस बार ईमेल पे लिंक नहीं आया, तो मुझे व्हाट्सएप से उसको फॉरवर्ड करना पड़ा अपने ईमेल में. और टीम्स में भी देयर इज नो ग्रुप व्हिच आई कैन डायरेक्टली गेट इनटू. करना पड़ेगा हमें आगे के लिए.
एक ग्रुप है, मे बी उसको स्टैंडर्डाइज कर देते फॉर रेगुलर, सो दैट वी डोंट हैव टू वरी अबाउट द लिंक ऑल द टाइम.
एग्जैक्टली. या
चंद्रकांत, डॉक्टर चंद्रकांत क्या बोला उन्होंने?
हेलो. हाँ सर, वो बोल रहे हैं कि अनम्यूट नहीं कर पा रहे थे. उन्होंने बोला कि एक बार डिस्कनेक्ट करके फिर कनेक्ट कीजिए.
अच्छा. अच्छा, ये डिस्कनेक्ट हुआ नहीं अभी तक. मोर ऑप्शन. अच्छा, भूपिंदर जी, आई एंड रवि हैड अ डिस्कशन लास्ट वीक. तो द टू बायोडाटा व्हिच आई शेयर्ड, तो हमने बोला एक बार बात कर लेते टू सी. And Dr. Chandrakant has worked with UBA, Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, for a couple of months before he again left और PhD तो इधर से किया. Now he is a freelancer kind of thing and he is quite keen to do this kind of thing. तो हमने सोचा जो चलो ठीक है आज बात कर लेते and then see if 1 month or 2 months if we can deliver, because इसमें जो फर्स्ट पोजीशन जो था उसमें अभी तो कोविड के चक्कर में रनिंग अराउंड ऑलमोस्ट क्लोज. Otherwise, the idea was to coordinate with other IITs जो डेवलपमेंट हो रही है वेंडिंग कार्ड के लिए, तो उसका था. Let's see. हाँ चंद्रकांत, good evening.
Yeah, good evening sir. Good evening sir. How are you sir?
I'm fine, thank you. तो आपको दिख नहीं रहा है, आपको थोड़ा सा देखिए.
No, actually I'm trying to unmute the camera.
हाँ.
It's not getting unmuted actually. I don't know what is the problem.
आपका लैपटॉप में तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है?
No, laptop there is no problem.
अच्छा, तो anyway, तो कभी बाद में देख लेंगे जब आ जाए तो. तो लेट मी इंट्रोड्यूस, हमारा तो पूरा टीम इधर बैठे हुए हैं, आप बहुत सारे को जानते हैं, बट आई विल स्पेसिफिकली इंट्रोड्यूस डॉक्टर भूपिंदर गोदारा जो हमारा स्क्रीन में दिख रहा है. तो वो हमारा प्रोफेसर ऑफ प्रैक्टिस है and he is also one of the co-PI of that vending card project, जिसमें हम सोचे थे आपका थोड़ा सा इनपुट लिया जाए. और MR रवि, उसको तब जानते होंगे, MR रवि हमारे प्रोफेसर है, तो हाँ, तो ही इज इन थर्मल साइंस ग्रुप. एंड चंद्रकांत का स्टोरी ऐसी है, चंद्रकांत has done a PhD with Professor Ashok Bhaskarwar in chemical engineering. So I knew him more of a neighbor student. No, I was in Vaishali. He used to come regularly there. तो हम थोड़ा सा बातचीत करते थे, because my daughter and Ashok's daughter was to play in Vaishali. उस टाइम ये आते थे डिस्कस करने के लिए, ये भी थोड़े बहुत खेल लेते थे बच्चे के साथ. And later on, after many years, I suddenly found in the corridor. I said, "आप क्या कर रहे हो इधर?" बोलते मैं UBA में consultant हूँ, तो उन्नत भारत अभियान. And he shared that BK Vijay is a contemporary PhD student as him actually. So then we saw that how RUTAC and UBA can do more collaborative work. So I think Chandrakant was playing a key role to do this thing. But finally, somehow it did not work out with him to continue. And now he's sitting as a freelancer to give services to whoever wants. So मैंने सोचा जे since he is sitting, but he has lots of experience which we'll share in a couple of minutes, and we can utilize his services or not. तो ये हमारा आज मकसद है मिलने का. Chandrakant, you can share the experiences maybe from your background of BTech, MTech, and then finally Middle East में भी कुछ काम किया, and your interest mostly in the social innovation sector and the design of such things. You can introduce.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Professor Shah, and for introducing me briefly. And good evening, everybody, sir.
Top core result.
And as Professor Shah said that actually I did my BTech and MTech in chemical engineering from Lakshminarayan Institute of Technology, Nagpur, which is one of the institutes for chemical engineering, well known for the chemical engineering. And after completing my MTech, I joined the NEERI CSIR, and I was with the Air Pollution Control Division for almost 3.5 years before I joined Mekon Limited under Ministry of Steel, headquartered at Ranchi. So I continued there to be for 8 years. Then later on, I was transferred to Delhi office, where I continued for 8 more years. Then I gave the job to complete my PhD from IIT Delhi. And after completion of my PhD, I went to National Cheng Kung University in Taiwan for doing my postdoc. After completing the postdoc for 1 year, almost 1 year, I was in the Middle East for a very brief time in Sharjah, and worked for a German company as a senior project manager. And we were working for the wastewater treatment plant actually, and it was for the Kuwait National Petroleum Company. And later on, after completing that assignment, it was very brief actually. It was on contract basis, as you know. Then I was in Libya as a full professor for 1 year. Then I turned down my contract and came back to India again. And then later on, I joined as an associate professor in one of the universities in Saudi Arabia, where I was there until August 2019. And later on, I joined as a project consultant in the Unnat Bharat Abhiyan at the request of Professor Vijay Kumar Virender, and where I continued for 3 months. The contract was 3 months, but I worked there for more than 6 months or so to complete the report at all. And since then, I am a freelancer now. So
Chandrakant, one worry we have is, I mean, let us be frank, and आपका opinion, and then Bhupinder and Ravi भी कुछ बताएंगे. आपका जो हमका actually शर्म आ रही है थोड़ी बहुत actually, because our budget is such and the requirement is such. But then I was trying to think in the following manner, जिसको जो society contribution करने का इच्छा है, I felt money may not be very important thing. तो इसीलिए मैं आपको approach किया, and you kindly kind of agreeing to this thing. Of course, क्या आप दे पाएंगे नहीं दे पाएंगे, हम क्या चाहते नहीं है, तो वो तो टाइम बताएंगे. तो वी आर लिटिल हेजिटेटिंग. तो इसके बारे में आपका थोड़ा सा कमेंट्स मे बी वीड लाइक टू हियर that 50,000 is not a big money for the qualification expense you have it, and the work which will require a little bit running around of the vending cart to be made by different IITs, follow up karna, how it will happen. So it's maybe we thought maybe some younger person, both in the sense of age as well as qualification, might be able to do justice. But I feel that if I am passionate, I don't mind even to take tools and do the cutting by myself. तो इसी spirit में मैं आपको approach किया. If you can share your feeling about this thing and how would you feel of such thing, that will be helpful for us.
First of all, let me thank you, sir, to you all that for considering me and thinking of me for this position. Anyways, sir, because as I discussed with you earlier also, that to me the work is more important. Actually, the involvement is more important to me. Okay, because as you have the constraint for the multi-part, so I have no reservation, sir, about that.
चलो ठीक है, thank you. So now I just wanted to introduce Professor Jyoti Kumar also. He is a professor in Department of Design. So we have 4 PIs for this project, and Jyoti, we are talking to Dr. Chandrakant, whom I shared the biodata. And so
yes, sir. Namaskar all. Sorry for joining late. I had another meeting.
अच्छा, तो भूपिंदर से शुरू करते. भूपिंदर, you wanted to maybe interact with Chandrakant.
Okay, thanks, Professor. So, Dr. Chandrakant, could you find out the reason why your video is not working? I wanted to see your face.
I don't know, because this normally happens with the Microsoft Teams. Actually, whenever I have this software, and especially with this particular laptop, actually, I have this HP 17.3 inch.
Okay, then can you demonstrate to me some problem solving that you've done in the recent projects that you've handled?
Problem solving means because when I was working with the UA, this is the latest one. It was a technological intervention to improve the performance of the smokeless chulas, actually. So because Professor, when I was working as a project consultant, and Professor Vivek Kumar, he had given me the assignment, and he told me that because under the CSR this fund from the ONGC, they were distributing some smokeless chulas in the Haridwar sector, and because the villagers were not ready to take those smokeless stoves, actually, because it was not performing well, and they had some technical problem and all. So it was hard to convince the villagers and the farmers. So then he asked me to do this matter, actually. Nothing, I did nothing, actually. I replaced the TEG with the solar panels completely with the rechargeable battery of 12 volt, because the 12 volt was required to run the fan, a built-in fan, actually. So that was the latest. I studied it, and then I found that because the TEG is not performing well, and so I replaced that one with the solar panels and all. That's all. This is a new problem I solved, the latest, actually. So like that, there were many problems when I was working for Mekon Limited and all. We solved many industrial problems related to the wastewater air pollution control, and many such problems were done, actually. So that was the thing I did.
Do you have some insights into cooling processes? Like if you were to look at low cost cooling, what would immediately come to your mind?
No cost cooling, because it comes to my air cooling is the best thing, actually. Air cooling will be the best. And if you have the little water film, because I am working on that little bit on that sector also. Something is there in my mind for the, especially for the common man and for the rural areas.
Professor, no more questions from me. Thank you, Dr. Chandrakant.
Yeah, thank you, Prof.
Sir, you are on mute. Professor Saha.
Jyoti, if you wanted to interact with Chandrakant.
Sure, sir. Yeah, so thank you so much, Dr. Chandrakant, for your interest in this. I guess you have some idea about what we are up to.
Probably not much actually. I have not explained much.
Okay.
Not exactly, sir.
So let me ask you. See, what I learned from your reply to Professor Godara is that you have some experience and you are quite are enthusiastic about solving problems which are tricky problems through technology. Am I correct?
Yeah, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Okay. So let me ask you a tricky question. So, have you observed any vegetable vendors selling using the normal 4-wheel cart?
I couldn't get your question because the voice was not clear, doctor.
Okay, let me repeat. See, have you observed any fruit vendor or vegetable vendor, typically in our country, who use this 4-wheeled cart?
Yes, sir.
What is a key problem that you have observed in it?
Yeah, this 4-wheel means because they have to push actually. That's the basic thing, because it is manually operated, first of all. And they are selling the vegetables, and during the summer they have a lot of problem actually, because the vegetable gets wasted because of the hot climate. So if you can make some kind of like a solar panel and with the cooling system within the cart itself, like on the top of the cart, the solar panels will be there, and inside it will be covered by the plastic curtains, and we have some kind of small package type of cooling air supply or chiller kind of thing inbuilt. So
okay, sorry to interrupt, but you have gone into the technology, the way to solve it. But I wanted to understand your perspective on the problem itself. You know, for example, you said one problem is that they have to push.
Yeah, manually.
Second, you said that because of heat, the vegetable gets spoiled. Can you name a few more problems? What are the problems you have observed with that cart?
Yeah.
Or maybe you can talk a little bit more about what is the problem with pushing. What is the key? Because just saying push doesn't help me. If I want to understand your perspective, you need to talk a little bit more. What is the problem?
Yeah. Because the wheel size or the 4 wheel sizes are the same. Okay, and when the cart is empty, it is unloaded. It is easy to push, and when the cart is loaded with the goods, for example, vegetables, for example, so we have to exert more, push more hardly, and when there is a ups and downs like the slopes and all on the roads may not be even everywhere. Okay, some cities the roads are ups and downs will be there, so then they need more energy to push the cart, and it is hard to push the cart. So I think if you can modify a little bit with the wheels, play with the wheels and with the gears and all, so where the exertion will be less actually, the person who is pushing the cart.
Okay, let me get your attention onto a very specific problem that happens with such carts. The vendor has to lift the entire cart when they have to turn on the road. Have you observed that?
Yeah, exactly, sir. So that can be done with the gear and all, like, because we have these ice cream vendors are there, ice cream vendors. Or nowadays, I see the sugarcane juice vendors are there, and it is very because their carts are also very heavy. But when they are moving on the road and they are maneuvering with the like a steering wheel, they have, and very easily they are maneuvering the turning and all on the roads like any other motorized vehicle. So that kind of thing, if we can do in these carts also, so that will solve the problem of lifting it and then turn it whenever they want. So like these ice cream vendors like Mother Dairy or Cream Bale or Quality Ice Creams, they have this kind of thing, because they don't they are paddling it and then moving, turning it. So that kind of thing can be done. Because I've seen the many vegetable vendors, sir, they are motorized actually. They are using the scooter motors, and they are doing it very nicely because they go to the weekly markets. So I've seen it because they have done it on their own, maybe, because it's very common in Delhi.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Ravi wanted to.
Thank you, sir.
Ravi, you wanted to ask something? Even though it is not a formal interview, Chandrakant, please don't take it that sense. No, it is just
no, sir. I'm discussing. See, sir, because at this stage we are in the open discussion.
Right.
So whatever I have in my mind, I'm just sharing.
Right.
And later on we can improve definitely.
Right.
There are many. Yeah.
Ravi, you wanted to say something?
No, nothing from my side.
Chandrakant, you wanted to ask something, no? Regarding the project. Project I have briefly mentioned, but if you wanted to know anything specific, no, in order to get what is the project about, I mean, if you have some quick questions, you can answer.
Yes, sir. It will be better if you throw a little more light on this actually, this project.
Actually, the project
because
is
I understood that we have to
basically,
solve the problem of this pushing the cart and all.
No, the project is about improving the vending cart, what just now Professor Jyoti Kumar mentioned. And when you say improvement is unlimited. Whatever we can do within a time frame. We have been given 1 year time. Even though ministry wanted to do this job by April, because of pandemic and everything, things have been pushed. No, so it has to be a low cost, comfortable, no, and we decided to use all these things which you have mentioned, but thing is that there will be issues. Just now I came to know from an electrical professor that if you put the solar panel on the top, now the guy will put the vending cart on the shadow all the time, right, to get some little rest. So then the panel will not be charged at all. No? So it is not as simple. But anyway, the idea is to get the vegetables and the fruits as fresh as possible, with certain cooling arrangement, with probably sanitizer disposal units to be there for the health reasons. And I have another work parallelly going on with JNU in order to introduce some maybe mobile based app things. So the improvements are limitless. It is only how much we can do within the limited time is, but certainly fruits have to be as fresh as possible, long life, and probably a power system to have the lights there, and possibly add on the top of those things if the IoT enable, if GPS enable. The more you do it, the better it is. Actually, that's the smart vending system we are talking about. Mota. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Chandrakant, we may discuss more later. Once we come to a right time. So if there is none, so we have another person waiting for our second post actually. So thank you. And we can have offline chat as well. And Rajkumar is always there. So you can ask anything about our other Rutak projects if you wanted to contribute. Okay. Sangeeta, you wanted to say something? By any chance, Chula Chandrakant mentioned, and Sangeeta is one of our Chula expert actually. Sangeeta? Sangeeta is not there.
नहीं टाइम लगता है ना उसको अनम्यूट करने में.
अच्छा. So you wanted to check something with him? You had been doing lots of
I discussed with him earlier once. पहले एक बार आपने मिलवाया था. तो अभी तो कुछ नहीं पूछना.
Okay, thank you, Chandrakant. Maybe you can log out.
Okay, sir. Thank you everybody. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
अनिल को इन करो.
ठीक है. Thank you.
Thank you. है उधर राजकुमार?
Hello, हाँ sir. Do we have anything to discuss?
No, actually we will do it later because now our whole team is here. So maybe 4 of us can do it separately. Actually, today's. We'll discuss.
ठीक है सर, वो ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं.
अच्छा, आज तो हमारा ज्यादा मीटिंग डिटेल्स नहीं कर पाएंगे, बस इतना ही है. व्हाट विल डू इज आफ्टर अनिल लीव्स थोड़ा सा बेंडिंग कट का अपडेट दे देना जो भी कर रहे हैं सूरज एंड यशवंत, After that, you guys will leave. 4 of us will stay back for the discussion about engaging these people. ठीक है?
ठीक है सर. आ गए सर.
Anil, welcome. You have to unmute, Anil. Anil, you have to unmute. Anil, unmute करो. उसको फोन करके बताओ.
ठीक है सर.
ये भूपिंदर का फेक घर है ना? बिकॉज आज 2 घंटे पहले किसी का सेम घर देखा.
आपका अनम्यूट नहीं है.
भूपिंदर तो ओरिजिनल है. बैकग्राउंड शायद फेक हो.
राइट है. क्या पता कुछ दिन के बाद अवतार भी आ जाए. अवतार बोलता है ना.
क्या बोलते हैं?
There was a WhatsApp message. There was a WhatsApp message about a child attending a class and the teacher teaching. Actually, teacher तो अपने आप तो सो रहा है, लेकिन उसकी अब टीवी पे वीडियो चला दिया और उसके ऊपर कैमरा लगा के वो सो रहा है. और बच्चा अपना फोटो वहां लगा दिया कि उसके ऊपर कैमरा लगा दिया और बच्चा भी खेल रहा है कुछ और गेम. तो टीचिंग एंड लर्निंग आर गोइंग ऑन साइड बाय साइड.
इसका अवतार बोलते हैं, AVTAR. आप खुद नहीं जाते हो, अवतार को भेज दो एक्चुअली है ना.
एक बार लॉग आउट करके आप करिए, फिर से
अभी ऑन होल्ड. हाँ.
Yeah, he must be on the same phone.
हाँ.
So the same phone threatening the call and this one. So when he goes on phone, it goes on hold. Yeah.
इसीलिए मैं ना ज्यादातर unless I am in really bad shape, मैं तो always लैपटॉप से प्रेफर करता हूँ एक्चुअली.
प्रोफेसर साहब, मैंने रिमूव कर दिया बैकग्राउंड.
अभी सुंदर लग रहा है.
Now it's original Bhupinder with his original house.
And with the Siddhi Sai Baba at the back.
ये मैंने किया था recently. There was some, I was at another place where I had to change the background.
अच्छा.
In fact, once we had a meeting in which 2 participants had the same background in their back. Quite funny actually. तो एक background आता, अचानक एक आदमी आता, फिर उसी background में दूसरा आदमी आता. So we were joking with them that okay, you need to maintain social distancing. You cannot be in the same room with the same person.
Anil unmute करो. तुम्हारा unmute नहीं हुआ अभी तक.
अनम्यूट कर दिया सर.
अभी दिखा. तो कैमरा भी थोड़ा सा खोलो. Switch on your camera also. Good. थोड़ा सा पीछे करना पड़ेगा. तुम्हारा आँख ही देख रहे एक्चुअली, राइट? फेस भी. हाँ, तो नाइस टू सी यू आफ्टर लॉन्ग टाइम. तो लेट मी इंट्रोड्यूस अनिल. मैं जानता नहीं था, जो हमारे ही ग्रेजुएट रहा था. एक बार मेरे को पिकअप करने आया था एक कृष्ण इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज गाजियाबाद में. वहाँ पे लेक्चर था मेरा. So on the card he said that he is our student, which he'll introduce soon. Or he left as a faculty there and he wants to pursue PhD at IIT Delhi. So he is waiting for the interviews and everything. So बीच में मैंने सोचा कि चलो, if he has some interest in designing, maybe a few months he can help us do things on the vending card related. I have not told him much except that okay, some vending card related project I had DST से 1 साल के लिए. And I said that if suits both of us parties, he can spend some time, and once he gets the admission, and then he can still do part-time helping if things are good. On the other side, Anil, we have in this project 4 PIs are there. I am there, and Professor Bhupinder Godara on the top. He is there. He is our professor of practice. It's a new scheme at IIT Delhi. He has a long years of industry experience. On my left is Professor Jyoti Kumar. He is a professor Department of Design, and then Professor Ravi is in our thermal science. So Anil, तुम्हारा थोड़ा सा background बता दो 1-2 minute में, and then we'll interact about the project. So.
Okay, sir. I am Anil Kumar, and I have done my BTech in mechanical engineering from Galgotias College, Greater Noida. And then in 2014, I have joined IIT Delhi in Applied Mechanics Department, Design Engineering. Then from 2016 till Feb to 2021, I have worked in Krishna Engineering College, Ghaziabad in Mechanical Engineering Department. And on 28th Feb, I have resigned from my post so that I can pursue PhD program in IIT Delhi. That's all about me, sir.
Okay, so thank you, Anil. So Bhupinder, you may start.
Okay, thank you, Professor. तो अनिल, वन इज आप मोबाइल कैमरा से अपना कॉन्फ्रेंस ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं या लैपटॉप से?
अभी मोबाइल फोन से ही है सर।
तो मोबाइल फोन को टेबल पे रख के थोड़ा सा दूर हो जाओ ताकि मैं आपका चेहरा थोड़ा अच्छी तरह से देख पाऊं।
ओके ओके, ठीक है।
अब यहाँ के गुंडागिरी करोगे क्या अच्छी काम करोगे, वो देखना चाहते हैं। दाढ़ी जो बनाया अपने गुंडा जैसा ही लग रहा है आपको। थोड़ा सा नीचे, राइट।
एंगल थोड़ा सा ठीक करोगे तो आईज, हाँ आईज अभी भी पूरे नहीं आ रहे ना, अब ठीक था।
डिजाइन इंजीनियरिंग से एमटेक किया है, उसका सम्मान रखो ठीक ठाक, नो पोजीशन का डिजाइन करो ठीक ठाक। तो उधर पूरा दिखे आपको, राइट। थोड़ा बहुत फिर भी इम्प्रूव हो सकता है, बट एनीवे।
ओके, सो अनिल, व्हाट इज योर सब्जेक्ट अप्लाइड मैकेनिक्स में? आपने जो प्रोजेक्ट किया किस एरिया में किया था?
सर एक्चुअली इट वाज बेसिकली a new product type. My project was design and development of hand operated water purifier under the guidance of Professor Hegde sir. मेन एम क्या था सर उसका कि एक मुझे पोर्टेबल हैंड ऑपरेटेड वाटर प्योरीफायर जो है वो डिजाइन करना था। कॉन्सेप्ट भी मतलब मेरा ही था और डिजाइनिंग से लेके डेवलपमेंट तक स्टेज जो था वो मुझे ही जाना था। बट एक्चुअली में क्या हुआ कि लास्ट में जो रिजल्ट्स थे सर वो डिजायर रिजल्ट्स नहीं आ पाए, कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स रही थी उसमें, टाइम जो है वो कंप्लीट हो गया था, अदरवाइज इट वुड हैव बी अ ग्रेट प्रोजेक्ट।
इंडिया में अनिल, इंडिया में ये प्रॉब्लम है, बच्चे तो हम पैदा कर देते हैं काफी आई मीन जस्ट हम सारे एडल्ट है एक्चुअली, और फिर रास्ते में छोड़ देते हैं भीख मांगने के लिए, राइट? तो ये एक दिक्कत है।
So what was the filtration requirement? आपने कुछ requirement बनाया था कि फंक्शन क्या अचीव होना चाहिए?
हाँ सर, वो एक्चुअली में जो TDS की वैल्यूज और जो प्योरिफिकेशन स्टैंडर्ड्स एक ड्रिंकिंग वाटर के होते हैं वो चेक किया था मैंने, तो उन्हीं टारगेट्स को मैं अचीव करने की कोशिश कर रहा था अपने प्रोजेक्ट में।
तो आपको मतलब रिक्वायरमेंट्स तो रेडीमेड मिल गए, WHO से ले लिए या किसी और एजेंसी से ले लिए?
यस।
तो फिर आपने क्या किया?
वो एक्चुअली क्या थी, डिफरेंट से टेक्निक्स मैंने यूज की थी। जैसे अपनी वो जो घर में सर आरओ लगे होते हैं उसमें मेम्ब्रेन होती है ना सर, उस मेम्ब्रेन की डिफरेंट लेयर्स जो है वो मैंने यूज की थी। तो उसी के अकॉर्डिंग मैं देख रहा था कि कैसे कैसे डिफरेंट लेयर्स के अकॉर्डिंग मेरे TDS की वैल्यू और प्योरिफिकेशन स्टैंडर्ड्स जो है वो चेंज होते हैं। तो मुझे एक ऑप्टिमम वैल्यू जो है वो अचीव करनी थी कि मेरे TDS की वैल्यू जो है वो भी एक पोर्टेबल ड्रिंकिंग वाटर के स्टैंडर्ड से मीट हो जाए।
जो घर पे आरओ यूज होता है उसमें तो एक ही आरओ मेम्ब्रेन होती है?
हाँ, नहीं मेम्ब्रेन होती है, बट सर वो एक पोल के अराउंड रैप्ड होती है। और मैंने क्या किया था अपने प्रोजेक्ट में कि जैसे उसके नेम में ही है पोर्टेबल, तो मैंने क्या किया था, वो जो मेम्ब्रेन है उसको अनरैप किया था और डिफरेंट पीसेस में उसको कट किया था। मेम्ब्रेन तो सर एक ही थी, बट एक्चुअली में क्या है कि उसका साइज जो था वो मैंने अनरैप करके पूरा एक पेपर साइज हो जाता है वो, और उसको काट के डिफरेंट लेयर्स में यूज किया था।
ओके, तो फिर आपको क्या प्रॉब्लम क्या आई फिर?
वो एक्चुअली में सर जो प्रेशर रिक्वायरमेंट थी, वो प्रेशर रिक्वायरमेंट थोड़ा ज्यादा डिमांड थी उसमें, जो प्योरिफिकेशन स्टैंडर्ड्स अचीव करने हैं। तो वो जो प्रेशर रिक्वायरमेंट्स हैं वो बेसिकली एक ह्यूमन बीइंग के लिए ऑपरेट करना थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट है। तो उसमें क्या था सर, थोड़ा मैकेनिकल
प्रेशर अचीव करना था ना, और आप इंजीनियर हो।
यस सर।
आपको हैंड ऑपरेटेड प्रेशर इंक्रीज करने के लिए मैकेनिज्म बनाना तो आना चाहिए।
यस सर।
क्या हुआ, सोचा नहीं उसके बारे में?
हाँ, वो एक्चुअली उसके बारे में सर कुछ सोच नहीं रहा है।
ओके, और अभी जो PhD किस एरिया में करना चाहते हो?
सर मैं तो मतलब मेरा एम तो यही है कि कुछ ऐसे ही मुझे टॉपिक मिल जाए कि मैं स्क्रैच से कोई कॉन्सेप्ट जो है वो डेवलप करूं, और फाइनल अपने PhD जब मेरी कंप्लीट होने की कंडीशन में आए तो मैं एक प्रोडक्ट जो है वो डेवलप करने की कंडीशन में आ जाऊं।
अच्छा, अभी तक एमटेक के बाद आपने या बीटेक टाइम पे या वाइल टीचिंग कोई भी प्रोडक्ट हैंड्स ऑन डेवलप किया आपने?
हाँ सर, मैंने अपने जो कॉलेज था जहाँ पे मैं एज ए असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर मैंने काम किया है, वहाँ पे भी मैंने बच्चों से कुछ प्रोडक्ट जो है वो डेवलप करवाए थे।
सबसे बढ़िया कौन सा था?
सर एक मेरा प्रोडक्ट था कि मैंने रेलवे कोचेस के लिए ना एक फोल्डेबल टेबल डिजाइन करवाई थी बच्चों से, सो दैट कि वो अभी क्या होता है, जो कोचेस हमारे होते हैं, जो कॉर्नर वाली सीट्स होती हैं, वो पैसेंजर्स के लिए तो हमें कॉर्नर में टेबल अवेलेबल होती है, लेकिन जो इन बिटवीन और 3 पैसेंजर्स होते हैं उनके लिए हमारे पास कोई टेबल की अरेंजमेंट नहीं होती है। तो मैंने एक ऐसा मैकेनिज्म जो है वो सोचा था कि जैसे रैचेट्स होते हैं ना सर, सेल्फ लॉकिंग रैचेट्स होते हैं, वो और सिंपल स्टील के पाइप्स जो थे उन्हीं की अरेंजमेंट से एक टेबल मैंने डिजाइन की थी, सो दैट वो रैचेट्स जो हैं वो अनफोल्ड और फोल्ड हो जाएं, और जो बर्थ के नीचे का स्पेस होता है।
किया था या फैब्रिकेट भी करवाया था?
फैब्रिकेट भी करवाया था सर।
ओके, तो उसकी कोई फोटोज वगैरह होंगे आपके पास जो हम बाद में भेज सकते हो आप?
सर वो एक्चुअली मैंने ट्राई किया था, मैंने स्टूडेंट से भी मांगे थे, तो वहां से मैंने डिजाइन कर दिया, तो वो बोलते हैं कि एचओडी सर से मुझे परमिशन लेनी पड़ेगी, मैं तब भेज पाऊंगा। वो स्टूडेंट्स के रिकॉर्ड में ही है।
बट जनरली जब स्टूडेंट्स करते हैं कुछ तो वो तो ओपन टू पब्लिक होता है ना, लाइक मेरी एमटेक रिपोर्ट तो कोई भी पढ़ सकता है।
अब वो पढ़ सकते हैं, बट सर एक्चुअली में पता नहीं क्या है कि शायद मैंने डिजाइन कर दिया है, इसलिए मुझे वो सब रिकॉर्ड जो है वो देने में मतलब प्रॉब्लम कर रहे हैं
सजेस्ट करता हूँ अनिल, जो तुमने जब गाइड किया होगा दिमाग में तो है सारी चीज, एक स्केच बनाओ, ठीक है? स्केच बना के भेजो।
ठीक है मैं भेजूंगा। ठीक है,
3-4 स्केच बना के ऑपरेशन बता के भेजो।
ठीक।
Okay, Professor, then that is all from my time.
ज्योति
Sir, I do not have any questions.
ठीक है, रवि?
I'm okay.
ओके, अनिल तुम कुछ पूछना चाहोगे?
नहीं सर, बस मुझे तो यही पूछना है कि मेरा जो रोल्स एंड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज होने वाली है सर, वो क्या होंगी बस।
हाँ, पहले तो देखते हैं हम तुम्हारा पसंद होती कि नहीं, नो? हम तो लड़की देखने के लिए, लड़की दिखाने के लिए आए हैं, ठीक है?
ठीक है।
बाकी तो तुमने जैसा बताया, तुम तो पीएचडी एडमिशन के लिए अभी खाली बैठे हो, तो मैंने सोचा थोड़ा एंगेज करवा लेता हूँ, ये मेरा इच्छा है, ठीक है? फिर जो होगा तो यू कैन कॉल मी एनी टाइम आल्सो, क्वेश्चन होगा, एंड whatever the decision we make it, we'll let you know. अभी तो कोविड के लिए आ भी नहीं पाओगे फिजिकली।
हाँ जी सर, अभी तो नहीं।
चलो, ओके, थैंक यू
सर, बाय सर, थैंक यू सर।
You can log out here.
ओके।
हाँ, तो we'll take up this discussion, but उससे पहले as I said, एक बार हमारा वेंडिंग कार्ड का स्टेटस बता दो हमारे चारों के सामने, and then you guys, if there's important thing you will raise it, otherwise you will leave. कौन बताएगा? सूरज?
यस सर, अभी लास्ट सैटरडे को हमने मीटिंग किया था इनसे, यथार्थ, गणवीर और सुश्रुत जो है, तो स्टेटस तो अभी वही है सर, बस उसको उनका रेडी है हार्डवेयर, उसको मैं बस
एक चीज जो मैं इसमें देख के आया था माइक्रो मॉडल में, जो भूपेंद्र एंड ज्योति बोथ सॉ दोस थिंग्स, वो एक बार दिखा दो, सो दैट वी आर ऑल ऑन द सेम पेज। एक बार वो फोटो दिखाओ
सर, मुझे कोई शेयरिंग का परमिशन दीजिए।
परमिशन दे दो यशवंत नहीं, राजकुमार। तो पकड़ के क्यों रखते हो? सबको ओपन कर दो ना।
हाँ सर, वो बाय डिफॉल्ट रहता है।
अच्छा,
चेंज करना पड़ेगा।
टीम्स में बात नहीं कर पाते तो क्या टीम्स रह गए?
राजकुमार सर।
हाँ सर, कर रहा हूँ।
शेयर करो।
कहाँ से है?
सर मेरे नाम पे वो मेकअप प्रेजेंट।
तब तक और किसी का कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट तो नहीं है which needs a discussion or mention before you guys can...
अभी आशीष भी ज्वाइन किया है।
आशीष का तबीयत ठीक है?
यस सर, अब तो बिल्कुल ठीक है सर।
अच्छा, कुछ आर्टिकल आना शुरू हुआ तुम्हारा?
नहीं सर, अभी तक तो नहीं
हो गया।
हाँ
ठीक है, we'll come back
to... घर पे बाकी लोग ठीक है?
यस सर, बिल्कुल सब ठीक है सर अब तो।
हाँ, एक्सप्लेन करो क्या क्या किया यहाँ पे।
हाँ, तो ये तो आए थे ज्योति कुमार सर और गोदारा सर,
दोनों
ठीक है, डिस्कस किए थे हम लोग।
तो दिस इज आल्सो आई सॉ द लास्ट, एंड तो व्हाट इज द नेक्स्ट स्टेज का प्लान क्या है ये बताओ।
हाँ, द नेक्स्ट इज कि वो जो पैनल्स थे उसका टेस्टिंग करना था।
सोलर पैनल की
हाँ, solar panels.
Okay.
So parallelly, we were planning to have one as a fixed panel or one moving with this यहाँ पे attach करके. So this was remaining और वो कर नहीं पाए हम. That is also pending. तो basically that is ready. बस इसको fix करके testing करना है. Lab में है अभी 2 tag lab.
तो यशवंत का जो आइडिया था नॉट फॉर एन इमीडिएट एप्लीकेशन, जो मोटर लगा के जो चलाने का जो था जॉयस्टिक, हमें भी दविंदर का आइडिया था। तो दविंदर वो आइडिया तुमने शेयर किया ये हमारे भूपिंदर और इसके साथ, ज्योति कुमार के साथ?
नहीं सर, हम आज ही, आई डोंट नो अगर बीच में कोई मीटिंग हुई हो।
तो एक बार जस्ट टू शेयर, नॉट दैट वी हैव टू टेक ए फाइनल कॉल, तुम्हारा कंसर्न क्या था, क्या प्रपोज कर रहे हो, एक बार कॉमन मीटिंग में बता दो, so that we can go back and think.
Yes sir, I was thinking like you said that it has to be something different about this vending cart, and we have to show that this is what we are intending to do. So just to for that sir, I thought ki let's use 4 wheels, not exactly on the same chassis, but 2 in the middle and 2 big one, 2 small one, just like in a maneuvering robot or something like that. And we can give a drive through these joystick attached to it, so that the vendor don't have to push it. He can, just drive it on its own, because nowadays there are wheels available in which there is an inbuilt motors, or a separate two set of separate motors can be placed together and so on. So this was just an vision, I could say.
Power drive मांग रहे हो?
Yes sir. Yes sir.
Anyway, so we'll think of it. If there is any other.
There's one comment, Devinder. I think the quality of aluminium sections that you sourced is remarkable. I don't know whether Professor Shah helped you or.
हमारा रोबोटिक्स क्लब हेल्प किया था। रोबोटिक्स क्लब यहाँ से लेते हैं एक्चुअली। Cost is high. मैंने बोला नहीं, जो कॉस्ट जो भी है, I think the first prototype has to be best. और भूपिंदर जी इंडस्ट्री से आया है, उनका लेवल से मैचिंग करनी है एक्चुअली।
नहीं, बहुत अच्छा है। The fabrication has been done well and part meet हुआ है।
Actually sir, we were planning initially for sections and we visited a lot of places. So that sections we were getting, we have to buy full length and so on. So then I contacted Rishabh that he used it in this some robot. So he said that this guy gives, but you don't have to pay for the wastage, because there is a lot of wastage, and because ultimately you have to buy 12 feet lengths and so on and so on. So ultimately we decided that let's give, rather than buying these sections from open market, we visited Chabadi Bazaar, we visited a lot of places, Suraj and me. So ultimately we decided that it's better to give it to some manufacturer. But the problem with the manufacturer was he wanted full money in advance, and he don't let you go inside even to watch how they are manufacturing it. So we took this risk and somehow he delivered, which was not expected.
ये करो सूरज, जिस since he talked about Rishabh, और ये जो concept जो दविंदर बोलना चाहते हैं, I wanted to show a video. सूरज, वो तुम PR रोबोटिक्स का एक वीडियो चलाओ, PR रोबोटिक्स। हाँ, तो इसमें go there, there will be, वेबसाइट में जाओ, उसमें एक वीडियो होगा जो हमारे लैब में लिया गया है। हाँ, ही सेंट्रल वाला फ्लेक्सिबल ऑटोमेशन के ऊपर, हाँ नहीं, राइट वाला कोलैबोरेटिव एंड सेफ। इसका देखो, वीडियो नीचे हो सकती है एक्चुअली, होगा नीचे जाओ, वीडियो वीडियो वीडियो, ऊपर में कुछ है वीडियो नहीं है तो हाँ। So actually this robot is our student club activity. He was also our student club member. But finally, हाँ, तो इसमें थोड़ा सा fast forward करो, हाँ, go fast और fast towards the half के बाद।
Prasad, this makes me, again very interested in figuring out ये जो floor cleaning solutions है, हम बना सकते हैं IIT में। ये तो सब कुछ रेडी है यहाँ पे।
अच्छा, ओके। ये जो है
kids poor maid.
Right. You see for maid. तो ये जो this is a 10 years evaluation of robotics club student and finally इसी को ही लेके गया है और ऋषभ अग्रवाल हमारे 2016 ग्रेजुएट तो उसको प्रोडक्ट बनाया उसके ऊपर और 8-10 लाख रुपया लगाया है तो ये जो देखिए ये ह्यूमन जो इंटरेक्शन है ना रोबोट का तो यहाँ पे इसलिए पावर स्टीयरिंग इज इंटेंट इज अंडरस्टूड बाय द रोबोट सेंसर्स एंड द पावर्स ऑन तो आइडिया ये है बट नॉट दैट एडवांस लेवल वी लाइक टू यूज इन द वेंडिंग कार्ड में जॉयस्टिक करवा देंगे नहीं तो ऐसा पुश टाइप का ना इफ यू पुट इट पुश होगा तो सेंसर लगाएंगे तो पुश को अंडरस्टैंडिंग करके आ गया इसलिए हम स्मार्ट वेंडिंग कार्ड बोलना चाहते हैं बट इफ यू डोंट वांट टू इन्वेस्ट दैट मच मनी एज अ कॉस्ट एटलीस्ट जॉयस्टिक से भी हम करवा सकते हैं एक कीबोर्ड लगा देंगे
दिस इज अ गुड आइडिया आई थिंक दिस
इज sorry sir So these are ready-made solution used in handicapped wheelchairs nowadays. There are a lot of high-end companies which have opened their outlets in big malls in Delhi and in maybe Chandigarh, Punjab. So they are selling these solutions. I mean, joystick solutions for wheelchairs for handicapped people.
Because ultimately, what I told to DST is, हमारा जो smart solution होगा. Vending card is one sector, but finally, if you can deploy this thing in the airports and the railway stations, bus stations, right? And more advanced we do it, more, posh area. I mean, it can be deployed, for various reasons. और smart इसीलिए नाम दिया है actually. कुछ smartness दिखाना चाहिए हमको. Okay, so if there is any other points, questions regarding the vending card, if not, Jyoti, you want to ask something?
No, sir, I have also a lot of appreciation for the way this is, the prototype has come up. I visited and I think Godara and I had spent some time there. The next steps में मेरा ये थोड़ा curiosity था कि जो नीचे का wooden part है, how are we planning to deal with it and how are we looking at evaporative cooling का जो setup है मुझे लगता है उसका CAD model वगैरह थोड़ा एक बार ये लोग design करते in fact one of the students I had put up from my lab but unfortunately is down with COVID so we could not complete and I promised Professor Godara that next week I'll share with you the design that we are making but that apart even for this to be completed because ये version को अगर हमको complete करना है तो जो नीचे वाला पार्ट है उसमें मुझे लगता है थोड़ा सा चिंतन करना होगा all I have to share.
ठीक है तो आई थिंक विल सिट सेपरेटली इन अनदर सेशन बिकॉज आज ये इसके बारे में थोड़ा सा डिस्कशन करेंगे 10-15 मिनट उसमें भी लग जाएंगे ठीक है तो राजकुमार एंड द गैंग सॉरी टुडे वी डोंट वांट टू टेक एनी अदर डिस्कशन तो if there is something very urgent just mention it and I can talk to you later otherwise just leave and once we finish our discussion I'll call Rajkumar back to close down the meeting.
Sir, Thursday ko we have this monthly meeting of vending card 5 p.m.
With this DTU student?
Yeah, DTU and JNU.
Achha. So this is for the information of this vending card team. Those two students from DTU who have been helping us in the initial stages from last year and the JNU students. So in case you would like to join and listen to them, what are they doing it? So I'll ask Suraj to send a link. It is not compulsory or not even so essential, but I like to keep them on the loop to get their enthusiasm on in such projects. So every month we meet them for about an hour. Every team presents about 5 to 10 minutes. So there will be 2 or 3 teams. One from DTU who will be presenting on the cart, the solar panel and stuff like that. And there is a JNU student, 1 or 2 groups will be there. They will be talking about mobile app and they will be designing for finding out the quality of the fruits, which at one point of time their faculty जो है आयशा हमारी student रही थी, so she will be also joining. And along with these 2 projects, I requested some of the new IITs who wanted to take interest in a rural project like IIT Indore. तो हम इनविटेशन सबको भेज देते हैं जिसका मूड होता है आ जाते हैं सुनने के लिए तो दैट्स द थिंग तो एक बार तुम लिंक भेज देना डिपेंडिंग ऑन द टाइमिंग दे मे जॉइन फॉर 5-10 मिनट्स ठीक है चलो ओके थैंक यू गाइस आर आउट नाउ so Sangeeta you can stay back no issues but in case you have some other work you can go otherwise 4 of us will stay back राजकुमार
करूंगा, बंद तो नहीं होगा ना?
अच्छा नहीं बंद नहीं होगा, तुम म्यूट कर दो।
Give control to someone before you leave. Give control to someone.
नहीं तुम स्पीकर को ऑफ कर दो, सुनने में भी इतना बुराई कुछ नहीं है, इट इज नॉट सो कॉन्फिडेंशियल बट इट इज जस्ट कट सी, ठीक है। ओके, सो आई थिंक नाउ वी फोर आर देयर, तो व्हाट शुड वी डू? शुड वी, आई थॉट दैट 2-3 मंथ्स के लिए हम सोच सकते हैं टू एक्सप्लोर, बिकॉज़ देयर इज नो अदर पीपल अनलेस वी हैव सम अदर्स टू एक्सप्लोर, वी कैन डू दैट। तो ये दोनों हाथ में था, इसीलिए मैंने बुला लिया था टू डिस्कस। तो मे बी भूपिंदर से शुरू करते हैं।
सर मेरा तो चंद्रकांत, डॉक्टर चंद्रकांत थे ना जो शुरू में थे?
हाँ,
तो उनके